Hello, this is Andy from Seldon with Lee and Alejandro from Ethical.Institute.
Hello.
Say hello. So we just finished the machine learning strategy breakfast. Alejandro was talking about the Ethical.Institute, machine learning frameworks, governance, a real big topic at the moment. And we're just going down to the podcast room to do a podcast around kind of similar topics. But we're also going to go a little bit personal as well.
Oh wow, interesting. Yeah. I'm excited. It was a good conversation right there.
Yeah. Just want to dig below the bonnet a little bit is to find out, who you are outside of the kind of AI stuff.
Awesome.
But look, in terms of in a nutshell, what's your kind of elevator pitch for what Ethical.Institute is, and why is it kind of blowing up at the moment?
Awesome. So it's basically a UK-based research center. We focus primarily on research into responsible machine learning systems, but we have a very practitioner focus. We combine highly technical research, but bring in academics from the humanities and social sciences. Yeah. So we try to come up with frameworks that are practical to address these issues about bias, explainability, reproducibility. Working with partnership companies like Seldon, doing and leading these areas of machine learning.
Very cool. And in terms of, are there any real life model explainer type use cases in production that you're aware of?
Yeah, so I think there has been some mentions during that chat about Lime, A-Lime, SHAP, but also there
just click on that.
All right. Awesome. Nice.
Cool. Yep. So Lime.
So there's the usual ones: Lime, A-Lime, SHAP, but more traditionally, just having a pragmatic approach into assess things like feature importance, the interaction between your features and the inference results, the breakdown of errors, false positives across the classes that are around that. Yeah. So those are just processes that can be introduced on a general way to make sure suppliers are complying with these ways of explainability, bias evaluation.
Lee, you're going to go and eat all that yourself? Yeah, okay, I'm with you. And I guess my next question was then, how would a company how would they make sense of a return on investment with model explainers? But then you're talking about false positives. That kind of just oozes ROI potential and measurability.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. I think it's ultimately also asking the question of how do you make sure there is this business value on making your machine learning processes stable, reproducible, safe. And I think ultimately the UK has a very interesting take on this. Historically, the UK has used safety as a means to introduce higher performance across industries. Yeah. Railway sector is a prime example. By introducing best practices in this machine learning in production, you avoid risks that are often bad for business, and you improve also efficiency, safety, and performance within these sectors. Yeah. So I think the return on investment is clear when bringing these best practices, and it also allows you to have a more quantifiable approach to understanding what the predictions do, as well as insights that you can get out of your predictions, right? What does the model learn? Yeah. And then how can that make me have a different strategy on the way that we go to the market? Yeah. Right? Maybe some people buy this more than others. Having that explainability introduces that. Those benefits.
Okay, cool. And then last question, when there's companies out there building data science teams.
Yes.
Doing a bit of R&D. When do they actually need to take a machine learning governance framework seriously? Do they need to employ particular people to do it?
Yeah, so I think that's an interesting perspective. It's an interesting question, and I guess this boils down more on a project perspective and the critical nature of the project itself.
Right, yeah, regulation and stuff.
Exactly, and I think when a company just starts up or a project just starts up, there is that process to be able to have a prototype and ability to test in a sandbox environment, which may not require that level of safety, security, protection. Yeah. But once you start actually deploying this en masse or in industry, when you're doing things that require compliance, regulatory compliance, that is when you need to take these precautions.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's also important to have platforms like, for example, Seldon, or you mentioned, Pachyderm,
Yeah.
because those platforms actually enforce best practices
Yeah.
by the architecture and design of the systems themselves.
Got you.
The data scientists don't have to worry about these complexities.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, we could talk for hours like we're almost wearing that breakfast, but we've reached the podcast room. We've got the sound engineer, data science to be, and electric engineering superstar Sandy over there. So we're going to get going. Thanks very much, Alejandro.
Awesome.
All right, bye.